What is up, everyone? I'm trying my damnedest to post more videos because I want to. So that is not a I'm back this or that. I'm just trying to post more. Yes, I'd like to make them more pretty, get a mic eventually and really soup it up, but here we are. And a lot of these might kind of, have a lot of mistakes sometimes. I might slur some speeches, but truth be told, when I try to plan these out, write a little detailed outline script or anything like that, they kind of go to shit. I don't know why. They just don't feel as authentic as me just finding the topic I want to do a video on, hitting record, and letting a dream come true. So here we are. Wow, I might actually get, if this, gets a lot of traction, I could get some very interesting opinions, which I want people to share, 100%. I just finished, not for the first time, of course. If I said it was for my first time and I've done Batman posts this long, you guys have probably never, I would be exiled from the Batman community forever. But not the first time, the one of many. I just got done reading The Dark Knight Returns, the infamous comic, the most famous Batman comic, the one that, everyone says it changed the character, revolutionized the character. Really, Batman is where he is because of this comic, this graphic novel from Frank Miller, tons of movie adaptations. It's influenced everywhere in almost every Batman medium to some extent. And yeah, I'd agree. I'm really not gonna make a video about it and being against that. This isn't a disagreeing argument video whatsoever. It's really something I just got as kind of a, and I'm not even gonna say it's a hate or agree or disagree, hate or love type of thing. I just kind of brought up as a conversation maybe. But in reading so, as I turn that final page, as I really love the animated movie as well. And I kind of think most people do. There are some differences. There's also a lot of similarities, making an animated film versus a comic. It's tough to go panel for panel, line for line. Can be done, but I kind of understand why people don't do it. So that brought me up, and this might sound crazy, but when I closed that page, my first thought was, I was like, it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it again, but I think I like the animated movie better. I know, you guys might already be getting your pitchforks out at me right now, but let me just be honest. When I finished it, I was like, there's so many wonderful details in that graphic novel. I mean, other than its legacy, Bruce Wayne's inner monologue, there's a lot more detail in some scenes that what's conveyed in the animated film. But then I got to just thinking there's a certain style and direction, even with the substitutes they made for the animated film, that I personally almost feel like some of the scenes I feel like they did better. So this just brought up the conversation to me. Does The Dark Knight Returns hold up? Does it hold up to 2026 standards? Now, depending on who you ask, regarding comic books, 2026 comic book standards might not be very high to some. They might be hugely high with things like Absolute Batman right now, which I got my opinions on too. That might be controversial. But anyway, I digress. So here we are discussing this. Now, the movie adaptation means a lot to me. I made a video way back about how Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman, but then his inspiration from The Dark Knight Returns and this film also really had a huge impact on me when I was going out to powerlift. Now that sounds kind of two different completely worlds, but if you watch the video, I explain a lot more to it. But the animated film, just something about that Bruce Wayne that's so committed, so gritty, so raw, and just really has had enough with what he's seeing in the world and his life, and he's just in an instant, he's like, you know what, enough. I am done. This is not happening anymore. Or as the famous line says, the world only makes sense if you force it to. And he really lived by that. And I took that into a lot of my outside life and in that powerlifting competing, and really that was the mantra I carried for a long time. And going tit for tat with the film and the adaptation, there's some instances, for instance, one of my favorite scenes is when Batman's been beaten by the mutant leader. The deconstruction of Batman to actually see him lost is so incredible, not because we want to see him lose, of course, but It's how he overcomes that after losing, right? What does he do? If we're emulating off of Bruce Wayne or Batman, how does he kind of take a loss, which, you know, we're already shocked because it's not someone we expect to lose or whatever, and since ever see Batman lose. But when we do, how does he overcome that? Can he be better than that? How does he go out to the other side? And so in the film, when he's going down and the music's playing and he's speaking to the bat and he's like, you know, I'm not finished yet and you're not finished with me. The books carry those same similarities, but at the same time, the words and dialogue I find are actually much better in the film versus the book. Now, people could disagree with that, but that's just how I feel. And really, this isn't going to be a super long video, but between that clip, I think the mutant leader type of fight and some other instances, that as good as the two similarities are compared to the book and movie, right now I feel like I might like the movie a little bit more. And I'm not talking down on the book whatsoever. You know, it's the source material and all of its legacy. But by the end, even, you know, I don't know, the change of dialogues and the biggest, you know, perk is missing Bruce Wayne's inner monologue is, I love that. That's the best detail. But outside of that, I just feel like right now, could this be a rare instance where the film actually is better than the source material? I don't know. Right now, I'm leaning towards that. So if you all would like to share what you think about this, please do. Hope you all are doing so well. Thank you all for all your views and support. Take care.